and my eye set on you. I'm not gonna play it safe. It's going down on Christmas Day. 'Cause I've been trying to tell you in every way. Yeah, I've been trying to show you, but somehow failed. I wanna have someone to hold. Walking through the falling snow. I've been trying to tell you in every way, but now I'll get it done. I'm not gonna wait. And right around the mistletoe, I'm gonna let my feelings show. Always got you on my mind, but I know this time you're on top of my list. Only wish. And as we decorate the tree, only you and me, I'll be making plans, make you understand. I'm not gonna play it safe.
Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. It's been a minute since I just sat down in the morning to talk to you guys. I miss that. So here I am. The lighting situation in my living room this morning is literally so good. So I came in here to talk on my love seat. What do they call it, a love seat? That makes me a little uncomfortable. Good morning. How are you guys? It is beautiful and sunny in Indiana today. However, cold AF. It is so cold. If you might be able to hear my furnace running right now. I don't know, because I've got Blue hooked up to the phone, but my furnace has been running like nonstop since I woke up this morning. Okay, nonstop is kind of all the drama. It hasn't been running nonstop, but it's been kicking on quite frequently. And I'm not surprised because it's very cold outside. It's like 26 degrees. And I'm not digging that. However, I am digging how toasty my house is staying. What even is today? Monday. I forgot to take my trash out. It's fine. I think we have like one trash bag in there. It can go another week. It was one chill weekend. Although last night, like I said in yesterday's Vlogmas, it felt like yesterday was not going to end. I don't know what it was, but it felt like that day just went on and on and on, and it was not going to end. And it may have been that I've been so busy in the last month, and I'm finally not so busy. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to say twiddling my thumbs, but you know, it's like when you're busy, the day just goes on so much faster. But when you're not so busy and you're just like watching movies and like knitting and stuff like that, it's like the day goes on forever. But I don't think today's going to be like that. I've got a couple packages to get out for the mailman. I want to do some baking today. I also want to make some food that kind of takes all day to cook. I either want to do like chicken noodle soup or maybe lasagna, something like that. I would do chili, but I don't really have the ingredients for chili or the want for chili. Also, I want to know how y'all like your lasagna. Are you ricotta people? Please don't tell me that there are ricotta people here. Okay, if you like ricotta, it's fine. But I really don't like ricotta. It just like, I don't know. It has the weirdest texture and taste. Especially on lasagna. I don't know. It's like powder. It's so weird. But I'm not a fan. My mom actually substitutes in her lasagna. I pretty much make my mom's lasagna but I she substitutes ricotta cheese for cottage cheese. I mean, she substitutes cottage cheese for ricotta cheese. I really didn't pass English with flying colors. Either way, she used cottage cheese instead of ricotta cheese. And that also just did not sit well with me. So, my mom always made two lasagnas, not just for me, like, because my siblings, we also don't like ricotta cheese, and also we're like, it didn't really sit well with us having cottage cheese and lasagna. So, um, she always made two different lasagnas growing up. She had one that had cottage cheese and one that didn't have cottage cheese. But as an adult, I just have the lasagna. I make lasagna with no cottage cheese, no ricotta. It's just mozzarella. And it's one of my favorite things to eat. Like, it's and to cook. It's one of my favorite things to cook too. I love that it takes a while. Like, you have to stand there and cook this meal. Like, you just stand there and you listen to music and you just make this thing that takes like an hour to an hour and a half, and it's just great. I love that. I also love that there's so many leftovers with lasagna because that means I don't have to cook the next day for lunch or dinner. But I do still make two different lasagnas because there's usually so I have like two glass pans. One is like a 9 by 13 and the other one is like an 8 by 8. All of the ingredients that I have to buy, they fill like a 9 by 13, and then there's some still left over. There's usually not any meat left over. Um, so I will make another like 8 by 8 lasagna that's just like cheese and sauce and the noodles. And Coda loves that. Elizabeth loves it too. I don't know why they like completely simp over the cheese lasagna. I'm like, there's no meat. There's no substance. It's just noodles and cheese and sauce. I totally eat Alfredo without chicken. Like, and I'm so okay with it. I feel like most people they always associate with they always associate Alfredo with chicken. Like, it's always chicken Alfredo. But I'm totally okay with just eating like Alfredo with noodles, and that's it. Coda's not though. He doesn't dig it so much. That's something I could make this week too. I could give you guys my homemade Alfredo sauce recipe. It's one of my favorite things to make too. I like making sauces. I can make white sauces, like cheese sauces, but as far as like tomato sauces go, I still have never made one. They're kind of intimidating, and I've heard that they're more on the sweet side as opposed to the savory side. And I'm used to like the savory taste of tomato sauces, like store-bought tomato sauces. So I don't think I'm really ready to stray away and start making sweet tomato sauces. But maybe I can find a way to make it more savory because that's what I'm into. I don't like sweet foods. I really don't. I like, sweets like cookies and stuff like that. But as far as like meals go, if something is sweet, like when I'm eating dinner, I'm really not into it. I don't like barbecue. I don't like honey chipotle type stuff. I don't like sweet potatoes, stuff like that. I'm just really not into it. I'm definitely more of a savory guy. But anyway, that was a really long tangent about food. um, so yeah, this morning I'm just sitting here with my coffee and listening to music. The dogs are taking their morning nap. I'm about to call my mom and chit chat with her for a little bit. I think I'm going to call my sister too because I haven't talked to her for a minute. And yeah, I'm just going to sit here and knit for a little bit. Elizabeth won't be over until like Wednesday. She has to she works pretty late these next couple days. So she's not coming over till Wednesday. You guys, it's this week. Christmas is Saturday. Christmas Eve is Friday. Oh my gosh, I have some stuff to finish before Christmas Eve. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. I need to figure that out too. I need to get the menu together for Christmas Day. We're having Coda's family over for breakfast, Christmas breakfast. I want to try to make cinnamon rolls for the first time. Also, another thing that I haven't attempted yet because it looks so intimidating. Pretty much anything with yeast is intimidating to me. But I'm not scared of that, like making it in the bread machine, because you literally just put the yeast in. But I don't think I'm necessarily intimidated by yeast, but there are rising stages to yeast. And I'm someone who's like, when they're ready to do something, they're ready to do it. I'm like, I don't like to wait for processes to finish so that I can continue something. Like, I don't want, like, it's not every day that I am okay with a long food process. Like today I don't mind, taking time to cut up vegetables, to soften them, to cook noodles and, make a broth and stuff like that. Today is one of those days where I will totally spend all day cooking something. But it's not every day that I'm like that. Most days I'm like, let's get this done. I got shit to do. But not today. Maybe I'll make cinnamon rolls today, if I've got the stuff to do it. I think I do. The only thing I think I might be missing is powdered sugar to make the glaze. I don't know. We'll see. I don't even have a recipe for it. I'll have to look up a recipe. I'm going to go grab my knitting. I'm going to call my mom. And I will chat with you guys in a bit. I just had lunch. Oh my gosh. I need to shave real bad. But yeah, I just had lunch. I had just leftovers from last night. I made some tacos and some street corn, and it was really freaking good, and I want to eat more. So Coda came home for lunch, and he actually mentioned something about craving chicken Alfredo. So I am switching up my plans to actually make Alfredo. So that gives me a little bit more time. So I'm also going to make him some chocolate chip cookies. So he has like a nice surprise after work. He's going to come home. He's going to have some chicken Alfredo, some garlic bread. He's going to have some chocolate chip cookies, and it's going to be really good. But right now, before I get that started, I plan on releasing the Literally So Good beanie today. So I am going to go sit down on my computer and get the pattern finished and uploaded and ready for release. I'll probably just go ahead and post it to Instagram as soon as it's ready, because that's what I usually do. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, the Literally So Good beanie is officially live, and I'm going to make some coffee and get to work on some cooking.
Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart.
I'm going to start by seasoning my chicken with Italian seasoning, onion, salt from Tones. This is more than just onions and salt. It has dried onion, dried garlic, sea salt, and chives. So you could put those individually in here too. They just put them all in this nice bottle. So I'm also going to add Red Hot Original Seasoning Blend. So this is not normal for me to add to chicken for Alfredo, but Elizabeth picked this up the other day, and me and Coda actually enjoy a little bit of spice in our Alfredo. So I'm going to very lightly season this chicken with this stuff. like I said, I'm gonna be very light with it.
Good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Here we go. All right. Now this Christmas, we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance, 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 come on. Dance. We're gonna dance, dance, have a good time. Dance, dance, all night long. We're gonna dance, dance, and have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart.
Okay, I got pasta and chicken going, so let's talk about the sauce. For ingredients, you're gonna need some heavy whipping cream. I use 32 ounces, but you can also use 16 ounces for like a smaller batch. 16 ounces is like normal. I'd say that's like a normal amount of sauce for how much pasta is in these. I think these are 1 pound boxes of pasta. Yeah, 1 pound boxes of pasta. So 16 ounces, unless you're like us. I usually do 32 ounces because Kodo likes to have Alfredo sauce left over to use throughout the week to dip things in. He dips like everything in it. He'll dip garlic bread, chicken nuggets, potatoes, fries, like he'll dip anything in Alfredo sauce. And I mean, I don't blame him. So 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream if you want a normal amount of sauce for 1 pound of pasta. 32 ounces if you want some leftover or if you're making 2 pounds of pasta. And then you are going to need 2 cups of Parmesan cheese. Okay, so you have 2 options. You can either use this, which is just like shredded, or you can shred your own, or you can even use the powdered jar of Parmesan. I actually prefer to either grade my own or use the powdered as opposed to this prepackaged shredded, but this is what we have on hand, so that's what I'm using. I'm gonna give this pasta a stir while I'm talking. So that prepackaged shredded Parmesan cheese, it has a wax seal on it to preserve it. So it can be kind of difficult to get this type of cheese incorporated because the wax is just, it's so difficult to work with. So I recommend either using the powder or grating your own. Also, fun fact, most Parmesan cheeses that you buy in the US are not actually authentic Parmigiano cheese. It's super interesting learning about Parmesan cheese because it actually comes from a specific place in Italy where there's something different about their soil and the proteins that grow in this certain region in Italy. And when the cows eat the grass that has like these very specific proteins in them, the milk that they produce is what produces the cheese, like the taste of authentic like Parmesan cheese. And you'll even see that like this Parmesan That's not even like the real spelling for like actual authentic Parmesan cheese. So just a fun fact. I thought that was really cool, like knowing that Parmesan cheese can only actually be made in this certain region in Italy because of proteins and stuff in the region. Oh, hang on. Timer went off for the chicken. So my chicken is now sitting on a plate resting, and I now have a burner to, where did my saucepan go? I'm just using like one of these saucepans. It's not huge, it's just like a medium saucepan. So, other ingredients you're gonna need, minced garlic. I prefer to use the minced garlic that comes already minced in a jar because the flavor is more concentrated in these than just like fresh garlic. So if you like a mild garlic taste, go ahead and mince up your own garlic or just use garlic powder, either or. But if you like a very nice concentrated garlic taste, get some minced garlic in a jar. And then you're also gonna need onion powder, Italian seasoning, and some garlic powder just to adjust the garlic taste if you actually didn't put enough in. And then finally a stick of butter, and that's what we're gonna start with. Okay, so the first step is to melt your butter on medium. I just have like literally my heat is set to medium. Just put it in there, let it melt. And also, I forgot to say, if you're only doing 16 ounces of heavy whipping cream, go ahead and cut this stick of butter in half. I also just turned my oven on to 350, and after I get this sauce put together, I'm gonna show you my favorite way to make garlic bread. Okay, so while that butter is melting, I am going to explain ingredients for the garlic bread. You guys, garlic bread is way too expensive, okay? To make your own garlic bread, you just need a loaf of French bread, literally $1 at Walmart, a half a stick of butter, some minced garlic, some Italian seasoning, some salt, just some like spices, butter, spices, and a dollar loaf of bread. And it is literally going to be the best garlic bread you've ever eaten. So once that butter's melted, you want it to get really hot. Like you want to hear or see like a little bit of bubble action going on. And this next step is very fast. So first of all, you need to take the lid off of your heavy whipping cream because, like I said, this is gonna go very fast. You've got to get the heavy whipping cream into the pan very quickly. So I'm going to take one of these tablespoons. I'm gonna throw a spoonful of that minced garlic into the butter, and it's gonna start to cook right away, and it's very easy to burn. So after like 5 to 10 seconds of this garlic being in the butter, you need to pour the heavy whipping cream in. Okay, so that butter is nice and hot. So I'm gonna take a very generous scoop. You hear that cooking already? Okay, I've got my spoon here. Let's move it around. Yeah, you hear that cooking? And this garlic will burn so fast. So, give it a couple seconds. Okay. And now I'm pouring all of my heavy whipping cream in. And it's totally normal, like at first, you see how separated those are? As this sauce cooks, the butter and the whipping cream are going to come together just fine. While that sauce is coming together, we're gonna go ahead and work on the garlic bread. So I've got a stick of butter and I've cut it in half. And I actually also cut my bread in half because I wanna save half of that French bread for lasagna. And half of a French bread is like plenty of garlic bread for me and Coda. So the annoying thing about making the garlic bread is that you need the butter to be softened and not melted. So you either need a stick of softened butter or you have to soften it in the microwave, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm just going to stick it in there and zap it for like 15 seconds at a time until it's soft. It might melt a little bit, which is fine. You just want, like, when you finally mix the butter all together, you want it to be more of like a paste and not like just like completely liquid melted. Okay, so this is what my butter looks like. It's a little bit melted, a little bit solid, but when I take my spoon and I start mixing this up, it's just gonna be like a paste. So my butter actually did come out a little too liquidy, which is good, so I can show you guys how to fix it. So I'm gonna pop this into the fridge and it's gonna set up a little bit so that we can get that consistency the way that we're looking for. And also I wanna say, while you're doing this, make sure that you're keeping an eye on the sauce because you do not want it to reach past a very, very low simmer. Like you just want a couple bubbles. You do not want this thing to boil because if it does boil, it will break and then you'll basically just have like this weird curdled substance. My sauce is actually now getting to the point where breaking is a real possibility. So I'm gonna go ahead and cool it down by adding in my cheese. So I'm just gonna add in like a half a cup at a time. I'm gonna use 2 full cups for the 32 ounces. Now that the cheese is incorporated, we're gonna start with spices. And you wanna be pretty generous with spices because a lot of the flavor comes from them. So I just added some Italian seasoning. Now I'm going in with onion powder, garlic powder, generous helping of salt, and a generous helping of pepper. Y'all see those bubbles? We gotta get this thing off the stove. And this is what your sauce will look like when it's ready to take it off of the stove. It's not completely thickened yet, but as it sits here while the bread is baking, it's gonna thicken up a little bit. I totally forgot to show me mixing up the butter, but I put in a good amount of Italian seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder, salt. And now this is what it looks like. It's kind of creamy. So I'm just gonna take this and put it very generously all over this garlic bread. It may seem, either while you're watching me do it or while you're actually doing it in person, it may seem very dramatic how much goes on here, but I promise it's totally necessary. So I'm just gonna paint this bad boy up, and then I will put it on a pan and stick it in the oven for like 5 to 10 minutes until it gets the consistency that me and Coda like. Okay, our garlic bread is out of the oven and looking good. So when we cut into this, we should hear like a crunch and have like a pretty soft center. Oh, that's good. Yeah, buddy. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. Right, there's our dinner for tonight. We've got our garlic bread. I went ahead and mixed up the fettuccine and the Alfredo and topped it with chicken. We got the extra sauce here on the side looking good. And yeah, Coda should be walking through the door any minute. Hey y'all, it is now the evening, like very late. I think it's like 11, somewhere around there. You hear Whiskey grunting. She's in the recliner next to me. Hi, Wiki. She's fine, I promise. She's being the drama right now. I brought a cookie. They turned out so good, but I really skimped on the chocolate chips. I actually combined dark chocolate chips and like milk chocolate chips together. I love dark chocolate, but Coda's not huge on dark chocolate. He's like okay with it, but like he doesn't love it as much as I do. So I threw both of them in there so that we both got what we wanted. I thought that I had mixed half of each bag in, but apparently I did not. I was trying very hard to make sure that I wasn't putting too many dark chocolate chips in. But yeah, so they came out a little skimpy on the chocolate chips. But if y'all make this recipe, I cook them for 9.5 minutes and they come out perfect. Like they have this, like, you can hear that they have like a crisp outside, but whenever you open them up, you see how soft that is? It's so soft and chewy on the inside. Oh, they're just perfect. So you get like that little bit of crunch that you love from a cookie just from the outside, like the shell. But they're so soft on the inside. Oh. Look at her right here. She wants a cookie so bad. You can't have these, girl. I actually think tomorrow, I think I want to look up like a dog cookie recipe. Because it's kind of not fair that we've got all these holiday sweets and the dogs don't really get anything. Oh my gosh, you can hear it too. The softness on the inside. I wonder if I can get it on Blue. I got Blue hooked up. We'll see if he heard that. But dinner was so good. The cookies turned out so good. Could have got home from work. He was like 2 hours late, so dinner was pretty much cold. But so he filled up on pasta and garlic bread and cookies, and then he went to bed. But I'm that same way, like with pasta. When I fill up on pasta, I just get so tired. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's the same way for everyone. But like, when I eat like a big plate of pasta, I just want to go to sleep. And it's the best sleep too. But after that, I cast on those socks that Elizabeth needed my help with. I actually really enjoy this pattern, although I don't enjoy this pattern at this gauge because it's very tight. Like this is a very tight gauge for thick and quick. I think I ended up hitting gauge on 10.5s, US 10.5. So, I mean, that's really tight. I'm used to doing like size 15 needles or 13 with thick and quick. But it's a very nice sturdy sock. It really is. This is going to be very warm. Although I haven't told Elizabeth yet. I think she gauge swatched wrong. I think she may have swatched flat. Because after I knit these, after I got this far, I was like, this does not feel like Elizabeth's. Like, there's more give than Elizabeth's sock. So I went in there and measured her gauge. And like I said, I haven't told her yet, but she's actually one stitch too many. So her sock is a little smaller than it's supposed to be. But I think that's totally fine because she said that she has around the same foot size as the person she's knitting it for. So I think it's going to be totally fine. But She definitely needs to go up a needle size, maybe even 2, to get an entire stitch. She's an entire stitch off. So she might have to go up actually 2 needle sizes to fix that gauge. But yeah, really enjoying this. Elizabeth did a great job picking out these colors. These contrast so well. It's like so frosty feeling, like so wintry feeling. I'm way into it. And actually, since Elizabeth's gauge is off, I think I better just go ahead and knit the whole pair for her. Like both socks, because otherwise she's gonna have to gauge swatch and make sure she does like everything the same exact way that I did, and that's just like a whole lot of drama that we're not really into. And yeah, it was just a super chill night. I sat and knit while Kodo was upstairs sleeping. I watched some Vlogmas. I watched Chelsea Yarns and Maria from the Woolen Forest, and also Sandy from By the Lakeside. Those are some of my favorites. I'll have to make like a list of like all of the Vlogmases that I watch so that y'all can like go out and maybe find some new people that you've never heard of before. But I also brought my Advent so I can open it. Elizabeth isn't here to open hers. She's got to work tomorrow. Oh my gosh, you guys. I'm so proud of Elizabeth. She did such a good job with these colors. I'm literally, tomorrow morning, I'm winding this up. I don't even care that I haven't made it through. I just wound up the blue, black, and white one from a couple days ago, but this takes freaking precedent. This takes precedent. This is blue and white. No, blue and gray, and it looks like brown. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Elizabeth, if you're watching, oh my gosh. I love this so much. I cannot wait for that. So yeah, the day has come to an end. Me and the girls are very tired. So, we're gonna get our butts to bed. Wiki, you wanna say Merry Christmas? You wanna say Merry Christmas? Well, Whiskey says Merry Christmas, and we'll see you in the morning for some coffee.